What's going on, guys? Travis with RAC Garage. It's a busy one today. We work on the traditional Ford hot rod. I get the welding done on the chop. I go over the window templates. We get the door gaps set on the passenger door, and I actually drive my car for the first time. So let's get into that. One of the last videos, I got this gap on this door. Real nice. So now I want to work on the other one before I get everything all welded and I have to cut welds. I'd rather cut tacks than welds. There's space. I can almost get my finger there. And from the top, you can kind of see in. So, let's take a little relief cut out. That should be able to lean right back. Like I'll cut back here and kind of push this in, so it'll give room to this part of the door to go in further, and that would allow the top of the door to touch. Let's get that door gap perfect, because it's good. It's really good now. It's better than most Model A's I've seen. So let me just get the door perfect like the other side, and we'll get welding. Hey! Alright, so what I did so far, temporarily, I shoved some thin pieces of cardboard in between this support and the outer skin to get that perfect. I might give it some tack welds first before I nail it, because I think I'm going to have to nail it kind of at an angle, because now these holes don't quite line up. So I'm probably going to weld it first and then throw the nails in for a good measure. So that's kind of what I did there. I didn't want to skip over what I did to get it perfect, because I remember the last time you guys saw it, it was not perfect at all. It was really bad. I could stick like 4 fingers, well, a finger, in between the body and the door. So now it's much better. Okay, so this is the driver's door, and this door fits perfect. So let me take a straight ruler, edge of the door, perfectly flat. The body, perfectly flat. Closes really nice. So I'm going to take this ruler and check the passenger side, see if we're flat and flat. If not, well, we're definitely not on both. So whichever one rocks the boat is the one we need to cut and trim. Okay, so passenger side, ruler, flat. So right there, we know it's not the door. So let's check the body. Oh yeah, it's 100% the body. So let's cut the back tacks. And push this in. Push it in until the top hits and everything's nice and flush. And then we will tack these again, and everything should be great. Once I adjust the latch, this thing is gonna be sweet. That's a lot better. Wasn't gonna be rolling around with doors that don't shut correctly. That's embarrassing. To only me, I guess. That's not gonna shut. You get the point. So now, since my welder's out, AHP, Alpha Take 200. Everybody asks a lot. Cheap. eBay welder. Works awesome. That's it. That's all I'm working with. Okay. First, before I continue welding, let's talk about the window templates. So the window template consists of two pieces. The backer and the profile. You can use any material you want. This is 3/4 thick and this is 1/2 inch. I would keep the backer 1/2 inch because that fits pretty well in the window channel and doesn't really move around. So stick with 1/2 inch for the backer, and for the template profile you can kind of use whatever you want. Let's jump over to the car and explain more in detail of how I made it and how to make it. To make the backer, I just took a scrap piece. I made it kind of thin so I could have a heavier chop in the future, and it can work in the middle for a 1-inch chop if you want to do that, if that's your thing. But make sure that's 1/2 inch. And this profile here, see how tight that fits? That's how you want it to be. That's why templates are so nice, this profile, because it fits the same way on the passenger side. The doors are going to be the same, exactly the same. So what I did with this, how I made this, I took my stock door and I put a piece of that thin, tough cardboard, it's made like cereal boxes, on the back. I slid it in the window channel, made sure it would fit in the window channel. I slid it behind there and traced out the whole shape of the window opening. And then I took the center, I measured 4 inches out of the center equally, cut it out, taped it back together. So I laid that on a piece of MDF, traced it, cut it out, sanded to my lines, and that is your profile. You can take 5 inches out of the center, you can take 6, you can take 7, you can take 8, you can take 1 inch if you want, then tape it back together, put it on your board, trace it, cut it out. And these are your window templates. And you can have, in one side is the driver, and flip it around, and the passenger would face out just like this. It's specific to each side, but the good thing is you can just flip it. How to mate these two pieces together. Okay. So you get it so it fits in there, and then you get your template and put it in the window. Just like that. And it's not going to fit as tight, obviously, because when you're putting it in your window, it's going to be your stock door, and it's not going to fit. So when it's in your stock door, you just you move this backer till it's about in the center of your template, of your profile template, and then just send some screws in. I put four screws through the back, and that'll hold it in place. So how you use it, you would slide the template all the way to the bottom once it's in the door. Make sure the gap's good on the bottom and everything. And I have a mark pretty much at the center of my template on each side. When it's slid all the way down on the door, you make a mark right with that on the mark. Then you slide it all the way to the top of the window opening. Make sure the gaps are nice, and then you transfer that mark again when the template's up on the top. And that will give your 4 inches. You cut that section out, put the template back in, and Bob's your auntie. Be nice and tight to ensure that it's the same size as the other door. Can't stress that enough. If your doors are the same size and you line your window channels and everything the way it was before you chopped it and took the doors off, the chop will be equal and perfect and not lopsided. So these are very important. Alright, I just put some more tacks on these cuts that I made. I'm going to planish these flat, grind it off, and fully weld this up. I'll weld this and this crack. Just work a little bit at a time, work our way around. We just did the B-pillar, which is pretty much self-explanatory. It lined up nice, just weld it. I did this piece here because that was already nice and flush. It was already a bunch of tacks. This only had 2 or 3, so I added a bunch more. Same with this. So now I'm going to planish everything, make sure it's all nice, and go ahead and fully weld that. Alright, the battery died as I was planishing, but you saw me set up and start. So I planished this out. Now it's smooth. Now I'm going to fully weld this, then tack around here some more. I think there's some lead in this corner, so I'm going to need to melt that out. I'll melt the lead out, tack over here, planish it, weld it, tack some more over here, planish it, weld it. I'm kind of going to do that same process all the way around the back. And once I get to that other B-pillar, it's going to be the same story as this one. Just kind of buzz it around and call that a day. But I love how these doors close. So nice. I got this side done-ish. I said I was just going to weld it and not do any metal finishing or anything, but I kind of get carried away. So I did a little bit right here. I did it some here, not crazy. And this metal right here is actually really thin. I don't like, maybe it's probably just my car, but it was really thin there. And it was kind of a pain in the butt. And I also put a couple nails on the roof, and I put the visor back on just so everything kind of lays flat on the wood. That was kind of bothering me. I don't know why. In the middle of welding and planishing, I saw the roof and I needed to do it. So, I did it. But I don't know why I just didn't do it a while ago. Looks so much better. Looks more together, if that makes any sense. Those lights are so bright. That thing looks cool. Alright, back to it. I have to weld this B-pillar and this. It's looking good right now. I have no complaints, except for the stuff I complained about. Okay, so after a bunch of time lapses, this is all done. I do way too much work than I should have on these corners for this point in time. Got this all welded up, that welded up, this door, gaps are nice, and the latch just doesn't want to work right now. I'm missing a screw in here, and this screw just kind of doesn't want to budge. It'll move a little bit, but it doesn't want to unscrew, so I gotta fiddle with that. The other side's perfect though. That's where we're at right now. I have a bunch of guys coming over to help me get this thing running. Sorry I didn't get any footage of us actually getting it running. I just don't like to shove cameras in people's faces that probably don't want to be on camera. Probably just shit anyway. But big thanks to Dave, Matt, Josh, and Joe. Big thanks to Joe. He brought a bunch of parts over and actually got the carburetor working. He just jumped right in there and messed with everything. So big thanks to him. So here is the footage of us driving it for the first time. You ready, you think?
You want me to move this brick?
No, that's going to be the test.
Let me see what it does with this. Let me see what it does with this intake. Yeah.
Awooga. Flowing?
This one is, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good, man. You got thermostats in it?
No. Hey, I haven't gotten this ready to drive yet. Nothing.
Nothing right there.
Brick?
It went in it. Yeah, get the brick out. Get the brick out. I got nowhere to put my heel. Alright, so Maiden voyage went the way I thought it would, and we didn't make it. Stalled out. When I hit the throttle, it would kind of cut out, so We got to try to figure out what that was. Once we figure that out, should be smooth sailing. We are leaking some coolant, but that's not a big deal. So I guess I'll wait here, wait for the cavalry to come. Alright guys, that's it for this one. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of exciting things. We need to get new jets. I think Joe's going to come back over, help me put new jets in the carburetor. Just get this thing running. I don't want to put dual carb intakes on it or swap the heads, nothing like that. I just want to get this car running. So next year, I can just have a blast with it, only have to deal with one carburetor. No nonsense for now. Hopefully. But I might just throw something together. Who knows? But he's going to help me with that, get it running so when I hit the gas, it won't stall out because it was running too rich. But other than that, everything else is pretty good. Everything's welded. I still need to planish out and smooth out the other welds, fine-tune everything because nothing's perfect yet. But I can do that throughout the winter. Really need to get back on Ken's car. But yeah, thanks for all the support. Big thanks to everyone who came out and helped me get this running. Big milestone. I can't thank you enough. So keep on liking, commenting, subscribing. Catch you on the next one.